Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my 2 informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And I had something totally different planned, but it turned out Calum von Munchausen released a video about his bicep tear. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit. Let's talk about it. By the way, there's Nova coming by. Someone said, why don't you ever show Nova more in the videos? Well, come here, come on. Come here, come on buddy, come on. There you go. There he is. He's grown. He's put on at least 15 pounds since we got him. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Yeah, okay. Back down, boy. It's okay. Go chew on your bone. All right. So, speaking of bicep tears and bicep injuries, if anyone wants kind of an update, I have an inflamed tendon on my bicep. Now, this is the one that I previously did tear myself. So when I talk about people having injuries, I'm not some guru sitting up here with my all-knowing wisdom. No, I'm just an old man in my early 40s who's been in the iron game a long time, who has been hurt myself. And I know what sort of stupidity gets people hurt. I know what sort of stupidity gets people hurt. Injuries very rarely happen without any warning. They very rarely happen. Now in my case, I've got a little bit of an inflamed tendon there. And it seemed like I inflamed it doing chin-ups. And it's kind of one of those things I'm standing here going at this point. For me, my interest is in strength fitness, not being some silly bodybuilder or any of that. And if that's y'all's goals, then, you know, you have a right to it. As long as you're training, I guess that's cool. I would rather someone train for something I'm not interested in than not train at all. All right, because there's a lot of benefits to training. It goes way beyond whatever your immediate reasons for doing so are. So I would rather see that. But in this case, you know, I'm just kind of going... you know, it's almost not worth it. I don't care about having enormous, beautiful peak biceps. I don't have to always be doing supinated chin-ups and things. But I've noticed it is getting better day by day, and I've noticed that I can pull pen lay rows pain-free. So yesterday and today I did a 3x5 with a real lightweight, like 245. Relatively light for me, on strict pen lay rows, and you know what? Zero pain in it. In fact, it felt better after each set than it did before. So I'm kind of just working some of that area. But like when I try to curl something, it actually hurts a little bit. It's just tender, no bruising or tear, but there's inflammation there. You know, this is stuff we got to pay attention to. Now, Calum, on the other hand, what have I been talking about in the other videos where I mentioned this? People taking stupid risks that endanger their livelihood. All right, he's got a 500,000 subscriber YouTube channel. He's got all his bodybuilding stuff. A torn bicep is potentially career-ending. All right, it's potentially career-ending. His YouTube channel will get less views, a lot less money there. He's going to make less money doing his bodybuilding thing. He's going to not get endorsements, sponsorships, things like that. It could cost him tremendously. He had said originally, and I said, no, that's not how it works. He's like, it's a grade 2, and I'll be back in 3 weeks. No, you won't. The grade 2, you won't be back in 3 weeks, back to normal. Not at all. Not at all. Not even a chance. Not remotely. Grade 1, not grade 2. Turned out he has a grade 3. It is detached. It is going to have to be surgically repaired. He was told by the doctor, because I watched his video on, he was told by the doctor it's going to be 6 months before he's back to being able to fully train it normally again. He's going to have to not use it at all for 3 months. Now, you guys know right there, a bodybuilder's going to lose a lot of bicep size in 3 months, not training it. Then he's going to have to take 3 months rehabilitating it. So he's looking at 6 months of downtime. This is still going to hurt his career. Still going to hurt his career. I can get away with running a YouTube channel with my old bicep injury and my old bicep tear because I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't have to look beautiful. He does. He does. Because he doesn't really bring a lot else to the table other than the way he looks and personality. That's about all. That's what he brings to the table. That's how he makes his money. So kind of the point we go back to is people doing stupid stuff to show off causes injury after injury after injury. And I'm not talking about in competition, because people do get hurt in competitive endeavors. You know what? I mean, I have a background as a power lifter. I've competed in other sports. Injuries happen in competition. Injuries should not happen in training. I had an injury in training because I was stupid. I was dumb, and it's my own fault. Granted, this is well over a decade ago, but it was my own doing. Did it to myself. And I feel dumb about it to this day. Now, this guy decided to just do something to show off that was completely absurd, that any reasonable person who knows anything about the human body and anatomy should have known the risk of injury was high. Not like a 1 in 100, like a 1 in 3 that one of those guys was getting a bicep tear doing that silly crap. All right, probably about 1 in 3 chance. He was the unlucky one. So it's kind of the point I always make with people. Why would you ever cheat on any heavy exercise? I don't care that some bodybuilders done it, or these bodybuilders. Look how many tears and rips bodybuilders get. Why are people cheating on exercises? Especially with heavy weight. People say, well, Arnold did all those cheat curls with light weight. You know, Arnold wasn't curling really heavy weight. Doing heavy cheat curls. Why? Even curling competition requires it to be strict. You're not going to get any accolades for that. No one's going to pat you on the back. They're not going to give you a trophy or a medal or anything else for a heavy cheat curl. So why do it? Same thing. You guys see guys do this all the time. They'll get into the gym and they will bench a weight with terrible form. Their spotter has to help them. Spotter has to help them, lifting their ass off the bench completely. Wouldn't be legal. No one's going to pat you on the back for your crappy form. And that'll be their PR, right? Oh, that's the most I think I've lifted. And they can't even do it. And then they want to put another 10 pounds on the bar. To show off in the gym, another 10 pounds. You couldn't lift the 10 pounds lighter. And it's kind of a point I make to people. You know what I recommend? And this is not advice for competition, because I understand powerlifting competition, Olympic lifting competition. I understand that's a different animal when you are in competition. When you are not in a competition and some trophy or record does not depend on it, I don't recommend anyone ever increase their weight more than 5 pounds than they've ever lifted before. Ever. Say, why? If you could get 10 more, why wouldn't you? Because you're not going to get there any faster. Look, if you've been doing 225 pounds, don't jump to 235 on an exercise. If the most you've ever done is 225, with good form, don't jump to 235. Do 230. You'll get there eventually anyways. Why rush it? Why risk hurting yourself? Why risk form breakdown? You don't get bigger and stronger from form breakdown. You get bigger and stronger by successfully recruiting and exhausting muscle fibers, by successfully lifting a weight. Having a crappy form to where you have to grind or use bad technique to try to grind out a rep that wouldn't pass in a competition is not going to make you stronger. It's not going to make you bigger either. Nice clean form where you recruit muscle fibers is usually what gives you good size. Consistently, repeatedly doing so. Repeatedly taxing the muscle fibers. All right, that's what makes you bigger. Yet people want to go take a weight that's 10 pounds heavier than the best thing they've ever done with good form, or they're using bad form, and they'll jump up another 10 pounds. All right, that's how people get hurt. That's how people get hurt. And if some of these guys wanted to do this silly stunt, they should have titrated up. Anybody here ever know how to hit a max? When you try to do any sort of max, you always titrate up slowly. You assess, you build up to a max. Think when we start talking about Bulgarian training, where you hit maxes every day, you think you just come in and just bam, oh, I'm going to squat 500 today? No, that's not what you do. You squat 450, then 460. And this is assuming you've hit 490. I would say if you've hit 495 before, this is how you do it. If you've only hit 490, I wouldn't recommend you try to do 500. You come up slowly. Come up slowly. And that's the same workout. You might go 450, 460, 470, 480, 490 for a single. Then you try 500. Depending on how 490 felt, you decide, is 490 my max? Or do I need to go to 495 or 500? All right, you titrate up to a max. You don't jump all in. So, I mean, to just come in and just do stuff like that, have a little bit of sense, people. Is it going to be worth it when you get hurt? Take someone like him. He's got to have surgery now. Now, a lot of you younger guys, I'm going to ask you right now, do you enjoy training? Do you want to keep working out? Can you afford a surgery? That's stuff you need to think about when you start picking the loads that you use and you start using unorthodox training technique. You start using bad form. You use form that can get you hurt. And I don't mean form that morons try to preach who don't know anything about form, like guys don't like how I lower my deadlifts and stuff like that. People who really don't understand training. But using bad form, using questionable form. Is it worth it? Can you afford to have the surgery? Is it going to affect your livelihood? Is it going to affect your job? Is it going to bankrupt you? All right. Is it going to hurt you in other ways besides the injury? Is it going to stop your ability to train? And that's stuff that people have to assess. You need to check your ego at the door when you are training. All right. And that's coming from someone who I have squatted over 600 pounds. You know what? You got to check your ego at the door when you start lifting heavy. And I don't care whether it's a heavy barbell squat or you decide you're going to go do a cheat curl. The fact of the matter is heavy lifting needs to be respected. And you have to treat it with respect. If not, you're going to end up like Calum von Munchausen here, who's now having to have his bicep reattached. I've been there. Not fun. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it. I've personally been through it. I wouldn't recommend that you do that. Don't hurt yourself and have to have a muscle reattached. It's not fun. And it costs money. So again, guys, check the ego at the door. It'll save you a lot of hurt. It'll save you a lot of downtime. It'll save you a lot of money. And it'll let you keep moving forward and keep progressing. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.